No black cats, just straight facts.
Triple P certified.
Listen, we can talk about odds all day. It doesn't matter what the odds are. It matters what's gonna happen. Welcome to the Perfect Parlay Pursuit. It is I, Lukey CK, joined by the Euro Wonder King, Alex. We are coming off UFC Rio. We'll give you a quick recap, but then we're going to break down UFC Fight Night Vancouver. Ranier de Ridder versus Brendan Allen. 13 fight offering. We're going to take you through main card, prelims, give you all of our picks. Guys, I'm coming off of a whitewashing. Well, not necessarily a whitewashing, but I did not get the last two fights of the night correctly. I didn't get the first two fights of the night correctly. And had a little success in the middle, but not enough to get up, not enough to get going, not enough to get moving. And ultimately, I really thought Mateus Gamrot was going to knock out Charles Oliveira. So we can get into it. We'll talk through a little bit of that card and then break down de Ridder versus Allen. How you doing, Alex?
I mean, I had some great picks. I think I hit the last two fights nail on the head. Didn't, gamble all this weekend. So for me, gotta just go with my gut a little more. I mean, be a Mosquito by sub, very, very easy call. Made that on the show. Dubronx made that call on the show. And I also had Davison Figueiredo on the show. So a few big dogs there. And I even turned a massive favorite into a money line pro there. So be a Mosquito's my hero.
Yeah. For me, Walter Volker was going to be a big play on against Mo Usman. I think no one's more pissed than Walter Walker. He probably would have fought him anyway with his elevated levels or whatever it was. Now you don't get a paycheck. You don't get a win on your record.
I forgot that fight was supposed to happen.
Yep. I think Stuart Nickel fought like an idiot. I think Stuart Nickel just bit of a flincher, a bit of a wincer, a bit of a runaway, turn his back in the striking heat kind of guy. Skilled striker, but the Philly shell and the turn your back, like a boxer kind of method, it just ain't going to work for me. Vitor Petrino did amazing. The bets that I was able to win.
Simon Oliveira, bum. Second he started finding success, gets armbarred. When's the last time you've seen a man get armbarred in your life? That's insane to me. Like, you should not be getting armbarred under any circumstance.
No. And if you do, you should try to fight out like, Clayton Carpenter almost let his arm get ripped in half trying to get out of that Kimura. So, yeah, I mean, look.
Yeah, but even then, like, how are you getting Kimura'd from bottom? Like, do not let that happen. You need – when you can strike, there's really no excuse to get Kimura'd from bottom.
So I picked Ricardo Ramos on the show, but as the fight was getting closer, all the Brazilian favorites had won. I thought this could be the one that doesn't. So I did throw a little bet in on Khan Awfully, 100 to win 188, won that, took 88 from the 188, put it on Pinto by knockout, won that, 88 for 352. Put the 352 on a parlay with Jackson and Gamrot, my last two picks of the night, and a sprinkle on Gamrot by KO. Would have been a big night if those hit. They didn't even, Jackson came close. But, Joel Alvarez, biggest robbery I've ever seen. We really do need to address this. So guys, it's really not that complicated. It should be a really standard protocol, right? If a fighter calls their own foul, they signal to the ref. They do essentially a tap. They verbalize, they signal, they turn away. The ref intervenes, he stops it. And then it turns out it wasn't an eye poke, it was a knuckle in the eye. Once that happens, it should be like, hey, sorry, man, it was actually a punch. You lost. You can't stop your own fight. You lost. That's it. Now, let's say we don't want to do that. Okay, for whatever reason, we don't want that to be the rule. Even though it's a rule, like, it's a more decisive victory than ground and pound victories. If you're ground and pounding somebody, the ref will stop it, and the guy on bottom will be like, what the hell? I was fine. Doesn't matter. You still lost. You shouldn't have gotten in that position. If you call your own foul and say, oh, wait, I'm so hurt, I need this fight to be stopped, that's even more decisive than a ground and pound finish. So you lost, you tapped due to strikes, quit due to strikes, whatever you want to call it, you lost.
Especially when that foul is done, or you think a foul is done to you, or
And
you're
it's
lying, and then you drop to the ground and cower like in the fetal position, such as Vincente Luque did. Like that's terrible. So a punch did that much damage to you. And hey, ref, anytime this happens, the fight's over. Okay, you can't replay that, right? It's like this isn't the NFL where all scoring plays get reviewed. Otherwise, we'd be fighting until next week.
It's momentum. It's a halt in the momentum. It's a halt in the sequence. It can't happen. I mean, that would be akin to, I mean, yeah, there's no even analogy. It's just can't happen. But let's say it does. And let's say we want to start the fight over again. For whatever reason, it shouldn't happen. But let's say we do. You definitely shouldn't, I don't know, call in a doctor, let him get himself checked out, let him get more recovery time, and then start the fight over again. It made no sense. And the only thing that made less sense than that was the second round, where he's taken 100 unanswered strikes and they don't stop it then either. Then, I really think that Joel Alvarez is to blame for this as much as anyone, because in the third round, he decided that Vincente Luque is my friend and I love the people of Brazil, and I'm going to just win this third round and not punish him or hurt him anymore. That was, these fighters, sometimes they make these decisions like, I don't know, like they want to, like they've done enough and they want to just like the snake, the venom's out of the snake, and they just want to be friends with the guy. I mean, they're high-fiving. He's got him in they're in the freaking.
Well, Luke, can you blame the guy? He went for a finish twice in the fight.
Yeah,
neither of them got called off.
But then
they're a little tired, and I'm pretty sure Joel Alvarez was on short notice now.
And bro, they're in the inverted triangle position, and Vincente Luque does nothing. Nothing.
Joel Alvarez,
I don't care if he
was on short notice.
Don't care. But either way,
he gassed himself out. I don't think it was a love fest in the third round.
Well, he had him in the inverted triangle and did nothing with it. And then, but even worse, Vincente Luque did nothing to escape or show that he wanted to escape, or he just laid there. I mean, it was pathetic. Vincente Luque is pathetic. Just a shell of himself.
TSM.
Another perfect example of guys who find religion and fight way worse, right? He's baptized, born again Christian, and completely impotent in the octagon, just like so many others we've seen. So guys, do that when the career is over. But I can't stand Vincente Luque for that fight. That was bullshit. Anyway. That's
Mario Pinto, though.
What?
Mario Pinto, though, your guy,
had
a phenomenal performance. Absolutely starched Jonathan Dennis. And on top of that, had a top 5 post-fight interview ever. Did you see him?
Yeah.
Michael Bisping comes up to him and he's like, I'm working on English. And then he comes out with like the most London accent of all time. Totally faked out Michael Bisping. Doesn't know anybody from his home country. Michael Bisping should be ashamed of himself. Did a terrible job in commentary the entire fight. I'm usually a big fan of Michael Bisping, DC, Dominic Cruz, but Michael Bisping, you set yourself back a few years, in my opinion, based on your interactions on that commentary table. And I am a UFC commentator. So I will commentate on the commentators of the UFC every single time they perform. That's actually what I'm paying more attention to. I'm thinking, what's John Gooden doing? What's Fitzy up to right now? How's Larasenko handling it? That's what I really care about. When I'm watching fights, I barely even care about 90% of these fighters. I want to hear what the commentators have to say. And Michael Bisping, you should be ashamed of yourself. That's all I'll say.
The whole idea that there should be fighters in the commentary seat, I mean, it's provably wrong. The people that I hate the least are like the Brendan Fitzgeralds, the Dan Hellcat Helly, the Larasenko, I'm sorry, she's 1-0. She's a fighter. Shut up.
She's a fighter.
Dominic Cruz is fine, but Paul Felder stinks. John Gooden stinks. John Gooden a little bit better. He'll call things out. I mean, a little bit better than some guys, but Bisping stinks. Paul Felder stinks. Paul Felder stinks. Chiesa stinks. Alan Juban stinks. Anthony Smith stinks. Like they are not choosing their best, and it's sad. I don't want to hear from any of these guys. Moving on. So yeah, I mean, I did bet
Mario Pinto. Phenomenal job.
So I did bet on him by knockout. I'm happy to get that. But
and it looked there like he was going to finish it with a sub. You must have been clenching pretty hard.
And I really should have just not bet after the Pinto knockout. I should have just, because I had Joel Alvarez by finish in a parlay with Pinto. It wouldn't have won anyway, but you know, that pissed me off. And then Gamrot really pissed me off. Oh, first of all, Montel Jackson pisses me off again. Impotent again. Like, just, you're going to lose a split decision to Figueiredo in there. Like, it was sad. I mean, it was
just did nothing all fight.
Pathetic fight. You
know, Figueiredo everything.
Figueiredo lulled him to sleep. He's sitting there trying to counter strike a guy who's doing nothing. Mm-hmm. And DC called this out perfectly. He said, I think that Figueiredo is making it a boring fight while winning small moments to be the difference maker. And that's how I felt too. So last thing I'll say on this card, Gamrot, complete dumbass, takes Charles Oliveira down, survives, and then proceeds to take him down again in the second round and not survive. The first round should have been an indicator of, hey, this is not like going to be my easiest path to victory. Now, when he was punching him, he was getting around the guard. He's cracking him in the side of the head. He's Polish. He's not going to get knocked out by Charles Oliveira. And Charles Oliveira, a common theme is he gets knocked out in every one of his fights, even the fights that he wins. And he just got knocked out 6 months ago. You're not going to test that chin. You're not going to bang. You're not going to show that Polish power. Instead, you're going to get caught in a fucking arm. What did he get caught in?
He got caught in a rear naked choke, a neck crank, or a jaw crank specifically. Luke, I think you're totally off base with this. I think that this is just like a levels fight, right? Sure, Mateusz Gamrot, good fighter, but he has certain stylistic matchups that will give him issues every single time. Somebody who is a competent grappler, for one, will get the jump on Mateusz Gamrot a lot of the time. And I thought Charles Oliveira was getting the better of Mateusz Gamrot on the feet, and that's the reason Mateusz Gamrot went for the takedown. I think that you are totally off base. Mateusz Gamrot has pillow hands. He knew that Charles Oliveira was just walking through everything he had because Charles Oliveira knew, hey, this isn't Justin Gaethje. This isn't Dustin Poirier. This isn't Michael Chandler. This isn't somebody who's going to put me away. He's sitting here throwing pillow hands at me. I'm going to walk right through it, slam him with elbows, and I'm going to be the guy who gets the better of these standing exchanges. And on top of that, after Charles had that Umaplata attempt, realized he was actually the more competent grappler, that opened up everything for Charles. He was like, not only is this guy coming in on short notice with a cardio issue to begin with, a lot of these fights that he's lost against an Arman Sarukian, he kind of gassed out in the third round after coming out like hell in the first two and kind of getting the better of Arman in those first 2 rounds, comes out flat in the third. He already knows this about this guy. That's why he signed the dotted line. He's not afraid of a Mateusz Gamrot on 2 weeks notice who can't fucking punch himself out of a plastic bag and also is not as good of a grappler as Charles and also has a more cardio taxing style than Charles Oliveira would have in the first place by sitting on his back, lulling him to sleep a little bit off his back, getting an Umaplata, getting to a dominant position or getting up. Mm-hmm. I think Charles Oliveira dog walked him. Mateusz Gamrot shouldn't have even ever been in the cage. Sometimes you celebrate your own demise, and Mateusz Gamrot did a couple weeks ago. He called for this fight nonstop. Oh, this guy, Rafael Fiziev pulls out. Rafael Fiziev would have had a better chance. In all honesty, Rafael Fiziev would have had a better chance.
He wouldn't have gone to the ground with him.
He would have tried his best not to. That's for sure. And he would definitely not have initiated the grappling. And he probably would have cracked Charles on the feet. I 100%. Think Rafael Fiziev was a much more dangerous fight than Mateusz Gamrot.
He would have knocked him out like Gilead did. In the clinch, close range, bop, 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 But hey, Carrie, nice to see you. Thanks for joining us. Thanks to everybody for joining the show.
Here's my other gripe of the week. Red Bull. getting rid of the blueberry acai flavor.
Mm.
Terrible move. If you ever want a presence in Brazil, Rio de Janeiro, you're going to need a blueberry acai flavor.
Yeah. Well, I think that puts a bow on the card for the weekend. Not really much else I want to discuss. One thing I'll say Clayton Carpenter, he's that type of fighter who he's got skills, he's got grit, he's hardy, or has heart, but he just loses. He loses good. You know what I mean? It's like he cares, he wants to win, he's fighty, but he just, I don't know. There's a loose screw, not mentally, but like there's something within his vehicle is just, I don't know.
Yeah, you hate to see it. But there was a reason that was aligned so closely. Rafael Filo has been on a tear into his older years. And Luke, a man who found God before he started fighting, he is named the pastor because he's actually a pastor. I don't know if you knew this. He's actually a pastor, comes in with the Bible every single one of his fights. He's the man, a man of God who can still whoop some damn ass.
Good for Filo. I like Filo. It was I was on Filo and then I switched to Carpenter. You kind of convinced me, but either way, originally this was going to be Anthony Hernandez fighting Ranier de Ridder, and it's interesting. Hernandez pulled out with an injury because he was saying in a couple fights ago, because of what I was getting paid, I had to protect myself. I couldn't risk fighting hard because I might break my hand and then I'd be out or whatever. He's like, but now that I'm getting this money, I'll do it. You get the money, you get a main event, you still pull out. So shame on Anthony Hernandez. The guy he beat only barely is getting the shot in his stead, and we'll get into it. Let's break it all down. Starting off, we got Melissa Croden versus Tainara Lisboa, women's 135-pound fight. This fight is, not a lot of information on Melissa Croden. Not even her age, for example, is listed on Tapology, but the favorite, Tainara Lisboa, is going to be 34 years old, 2-inch height and reach disadvantage. And Melissa Croden is coming out of the LFA with back-to-back knockout wins. She lost to Jacqueline Cavalcante 2.5 years ago by decision. And then really has not fought a lot. So some people in Canada have this problem, especially good women. I know that other woman from Canada, was it Jamie Lynn Horth or somebody else that had a hard time getting fights. Word was kind of out. But I don't like that she hasn't fought in 11 months. I don't like that she didn't fight for 11 months before that. 3 fights in 2.5 years, or 4 fights in a year and a month. Not the best activity level. Don't know her age, but if she's 22, hey, that's fine. But if she's fighting a 34-year-old who has kind of similar activity, really, 4 fights in 3.5 years. I'm going to probably take a stab at the mystery box here. Melissa Croden. Not too impressed with Tainara Lisboa. Her biggest win in the last 4 years is Jessica Rose Clark.
Luke, you know why Tapology doesn't have her age?
Because it's disrespectful to talk about a woman's age.
You never ask a woman her age or
her weight, but it has their weight.
It does have her weight, but not her walk around weight, her performance weight. And
mm-hmm.
There were ladies in the UFC who petitioned to just have blind weight classes. Just so you know.
Good idea.
I believe so. I think, we should get Gabby Garcia in the mix. She's the only girl I want to watch fight. I'm going with Lisboa. Luke might be an international man of mystery, traveling up to Canada, trying to figure out what's up in Montreal, but not me. I'm sticking to my Rio de Janeiro streets. I'm sticking to Brazil. It's what I know. It's what I love. South America all the way. And give me Lisboa.
All right. Next, we got Azamat Bakoev versus Yosari Belgaru. I'll tell you what I like about Belgaru, he's fighting at a Teixeira MMA and Fitness, so probably training with Alex Pereira. Coming off a knockout win on the Contender Series. But hasn't fought in a year. Could be good, but in the sense that, hey, you got your UFC fight, now let's get you ready for the UFC. Maybe they haven't called as much. Maybe you turn fights down. Maybe it wasn't convenient. Who knows? But he's from the Netherlands. You got to think with his knockout wins, being from the Netherlands, he's a pretty good Dutch kickboxer. And then you got
By the way,
Bacoa.
he is a kickboxer. He was in Glory for quite some time.
Yep.
Lost to Alex Pereira twice, and ended up switching over to MMA and now training with Alex Pereira, ironically enough, because he sees what Glover did with Alex. He says, why not me?
Yeah. And, meanwhile, Bacoev, split decision win against Dylan Budka 2 years ago. Since then, had some LFA fights, knocked out Zach Reese, knocked out Ryan Loader, both within this year. He'll be his third fight this year. And, it's a tough one, man. I mean, Bacoev's got given no real reason to doubt him. He's 20-3, 29, 4 years younger. He's going to be 5 inches shorter, and he's going to have a 7-inch reach disadvantage. I'm going to go with, it's tough, right? On one hand, you got the veteran, Azamat. He's at American Top Team. What better place to kind of come in with a really good game plan? Yusri, whatever, is, I think, going to be the moment winner, whereas Bacoev is going to be the minute winner. But I'll take a stab on the underdog. Give me Belgarui. Alex Pereira's training partner. I'm going to take a stab on him as an underdog, plus 225 in a fight where I think they're going to want to strike. Anything can happen. So give me Yusri.
Luke, Dylan Budka, Zach Reese, and Ryan Loader walk in a room. Who's fucking their way out?
Loader.
I would think Loader myself. Regardless, Loader was actually the one who was knocked out the quickest by this guy. So maybe he fights the skill level of his opponents. I'm going to go with the babyface assassin. If you go against Belgaruri, you sorry. And I think Belgaroga is going to win this one handily. I'm not confident in this Azamat Bacoev man. Sure, he's 20-3. Sure, he's younger. Sure, he has a hell of a lot more MMA experience. But you tell me, a Glory kickboxer who got knocked out by Alex Pereira, or at least beaten by Alex Pereira twice in kickboxing, had the gusto to put his ego to the side and say, I see what their camp is doing, and it would benefit me a ton. And I think I can transition to MMA. And then switches to Glover halfway through his MMA career. That seems like a guy who's willing to do anything to get the job done, even training with a former enemy on an everyday basis, and getting him ready to have one of the most impressive performances in light heavyweight championship history. Give me Belgarui, and I think you sorry if you don't bet on him yourself.
All right, and we got a comment. I guess this is about Philo being a Bible thumper.
No, John Jones is the GOAT, and he's a huge Bible thumper because you were talking about how homeboy Vincente Lukey, ever since he found God,
I see what you're saying.
The difference is you can't find God midway through your MMA career. You have to be a Bible thumping man before you step into the cage, because then you have a different presence of God in your life. You're like, God's telling me to do this. Where all these guys who find it halfway through their career are like, oh, I shouldn't hurt people. I'm so sorry.
Yeah.
Next up, we got Stephanie Luciano, Lucky Luciano versus Ravina Oliveira. And Luke, Stephanie Luciano coming in a very large favorite for somebody who we haven't really seen too much of. I mean, beat Tatalina Alencar, who I'm a big fan of. She wrote the book, How to Quit Smoking Without Quitting Smoking, or something like that, right?
Yeah,
the easy
Alencar.
way to quit smoking. Tatiana Alencar. But then split decision to Sam Hughes, who I'm a big fan of, but don't see the reasoning for her being such a wide favorite on this one. Unless I look at Ravina Oliveira and she got knocked out by, Molly McCann. Why are you rating her so poorly? I'm going to take the dog shot. I'm going to take Ravina Oliveira. Seen some good stuff from her in the past. Know who she is. she was been putting it on some girls. Sure, she stumbled in her UFC debut and had to pull out against Shauna Bannon, who I think most ladies can whoop up all Mama B with one leg. Give me Ravina Oliveira. Stephanie Luciano does not deserve that big of a favoritism there.
I agree. It's kind of dog or pass. It's not a fight I'm interested in betting. Not enough data really on Oliveira. She hasn't fought in 2 years. And then the other girl's coming off a split decision loss to Sam Page. Happens to the best of us. I'll go with the favorite here, Luciano. But again, it's not a bettable line, and it's not a fight I'm interested in betting. 6-2, 7-2. Just no thanks. Interestingly enough, though, I guess this fight is going to be at 115. Oliveira, her last weigh-in was 133. So I don't know if this is her true weight class.
Is that above the contracted weight class?
Yeah, right. Like, did she miss weight? Did her opponent miss weight? I gotta check that out. But
I'm looking it up now.
Yeah, it looks like. Yep. No. It looks
no
like
canceled bout with Darina Zeleznikova. Zeleznikova had to pull out. Ravina fills in at the midnight hour.
Yeah, so actually I'll go with Ravina here. She took the fight against Lisboa on short notice, lost the decision in her debut. A lot of things stacked against her in that one. Worth the dog shot on her against Luciano. But, they both... I'm not interested in betting this one. All right, next we got Kyle Killshot Propelek. 36 years old, Windsor, Ontario, Canada versus Drew Dober, 36 years old, Denver, Colorado. A couple of cold mountain men over here about to take the lightweight division by storm. Drew Dober coming off of 3 losses in a row. He lost to Moicano by decision. Did more of the damage in that fight, kind of lost on control. But, in his last 5 fights, got knocked out 2.5 years ago by Matt Frivola. Was able to knock out Ricky Glenn after that, but then loses to Moicano. He gets stopped. Doctor stoppage by John Silva, but that was a fight. He was getting the shit beat out of him. Manuel Torres knocks him out. And Drew Dober's a minus 480 favorite coming off a 3-fight losing streak, 15 losses in his career. He's a minus 480 favorite. Not going to be the pick I take. He's not going to submit this guy. It seems like this guy Propelek loses by submission, or he loses by decision. It's going to be a standing war, and Propelek's going to knock Drew Dober out. He's less war-torn. And I think that he'll have the skills to knock out Drew Dober in a striking match. So give me the underdog here. Dogs are going to be barking this weekend, I believe. Kyle Propelek.
Yeah, my third underdog of the card so far. I mean, why even parlay him? You might as well just bet him one at a time. I know that's the complete transverse of what the show is titled, The Perfect Parlay Pursuit. But how about the perfect single shot and bet the winnings on each one of the next fights if they win shot pursuit? Give me Kyle Propelek. I think he goes out there, knocks Drew Dober the fuck out. There's a specific type of guy Drew Dober knocks out. Kyle Propelek ain't one of them.
I agree. All right, so next we got Danny Left Hand to God Barlow versus Jordan Santos. Jordan Santos coming off a loss to Ozzy Diaz. Ozzy Diaz is kind of terrible. Danny Barlow coming off the knockout loss to Sam Patterson. Sam Patterson proving more than just a jiu-jitsu guy because he's knocked out his last 2 opponents. Looked really good on the feet. I think he kind of surprised Danny Barlow. But this is easy for me. It's Danny Barlow. He's got height advantage. He's got reach advantage. I think he's faster. I think he's more athletic. I think he's the better striker. And I just, I'm all in on Danny Barlow here. I don't know what it would take to convince me otherwise.
Yeah, I mean, you're losing to Ozzy Diaz. What the hell's wrong? What the hell's wrong with you? You're out of your gourd. You're out of your mind. You're out of your head. Give me Danny Barlow. Don't love the odds coming off a knockout just, 6 short months ago. But give me Barlow. I think he wins this one.
All right. Next, we got Bruno Silva taking the Hung Sung Park. Hold on, let me catch up with the comments real quick. Yeah, midway of the 10. Yeah, and then Luke, the fight should have been stopped. Yeah, it's. What are we doing? What are we doing here, Papa? You can't call your own foul and summon a doctor and then fight on. That's crazy. That's just not the rules, you know.
The only time you can call urine fouls is when T's rounding third and we got a crazy ump calling outs left and right for no reason. You walk out there, you threaten the ump right to his face, and that's the only thing you do. That's a good dad right there.
Next, we got Hung Sung Park versus Bruno Silva. Hung Sung Park, 6 years younger in the flyweight division. Bruno Silva, 35 years old. Hung Sung Park, 29 years old. 125-pound matchup. Hung Sung Park, 3 inches taller. Similar reach. Hung Sung Park took the short notice fight against Tatsuya Taira, I believe it was short notice, and he ended up losing by submission, but has looked really good in terms of, his UFC run before that. The only fight he really had, he had 2 fights kind of outside of the road UFC caliber fighter, Shannon Ross, who, not in the UFC anymore. Carlos Hernandez.
Hey, Big Shan.
And look, I think I want to take a shot on Hung Sung Park here just because, but here's the thing, right? Logically, I go Hung Sung Park, younger, everything going for him in this fight. But Bruno Silva, remember when that guy missed weight a couple weeks ago and then he knocked the guy out? Who was that? The Brazilian guy. Not like Bruno Silva's just one of those guys, you know what I mean? Who he could knock out Hung Sung Park here,
Bruno Silva. Now here's a guy, he might miss weight and come out and knock you out in the first round. Okay, who does that?
Yeah, he might be 5'4", 35 years old at the 125-pound weight class, but he still could sleep Hung Sung Park. He I don't know.
See me, Luke. I think
I'm going with Hung Sung Park. I'm just saying, for who they are, I should be very confident going with Hung Sung Park. I'm not.
Nobody even knows who you are, B. I'm not going with Bruno Silva. Sure, he knocked out Cody Durden. Cody Durden looked like San Chai the first round and a half, and then got knocked out. Like I called on this show, I said Cody Durden's going to start feeling himself too much with the striking and get knocked the fuck out. Should have been grappling the entire time. Called that. And I'm also going to call Hung Sung Park is not the guy to get knocked out by Bruno Silva. Maybe Bruno Silva goes for a takedown and tries to exploit a little bit of a weaker ground game. But I think Hung Sung Park, he's got the stinging power. He's got the stopping power. He's going to put Bruno Silva's lights out. Bruno Silva, his only 3 wins are Cody Durden, JP Buys, and Victor Martinez or something like that. Not Victor Martinez. Isn't that the Dragon?
I don't know.
Okay. That might be somebody else.
No, you're thinking of Jonathan Martinez.
Jonathan. Oh, even better. So Victor Martinez, nobody knows who you are, B. And then JP Buys, Mr. What's her name?
Cheyenne
Velismus. That's what it is. And, Cody Durden, who he was getting schooled on for that entire fight. Give me Hung Sung Park. Give me Hung Sung Park by finish. A rare 125-pound knockout.
Cool. Okay. Next, we got Dangerous Davy Grant taking on Charles Air Jourdain. Love this fight, actually. Jourdain's little brother just got in on the UFC, and he was so proud of him. He was right there with them, answering the questions after the fight was over. His brother got signed. Jourdain's walking on air right now. He's happy, and he's more motivated than ever. He needs to go out there and do his job now, be big bro, get the win. Shout out, props to his little bro. Welcome him into the UFC. Show him how it's done. I'm taking Air Jourdain here, minus 145. He's 10 years younger, guys. Look, I know Davy Grant's looked really good. He's got 7 losses, though, and he has looked really good. Let's be real. His last 5 fights, knocks out Louis Smolka, submits Rafael Sunzao, split decision loss to undefeated Daniel Marcos at the time. Raymond Ramon Tavares beats him by decision, beats Blackshear by decision. So it's not even like Dangerous Davy Grant is like an old guy getting lucky and like he's winning these fights, like decisions. He's winning minutes. He is in there for 15 minutes. He's not gassing. He's not too old, but he is 39. The weight class is 135 pounds. Jourdain, like, very much like Hong Sung Park, Jourdain is able to be chinned here. I mean, Jourdain has been chinned in the past. Like, he kind of feels himself a little too much. He could easily get knocked out by Dangerous Davy Grant. But for these odds, at this price, with this age gap, at this weight class in Canada, I got to go with Air Jourdain, and I got to go with him pretty emphatically at the line.
Yeah, I mean, Jourdain has let me down so much, especially that Sean Woodson that, our former co-host really, really screwed me on, telling me that, and now that he's gone, I think he did that maliciously, telling me that Jourdain won when I knew he lost, and then making me run in. And it was a bogus prank. But you look at these losses: Gene Silva, Sean Woodson, Nathaniel Wood, Shane Burgos, meh. Julian Erosa, meh. Andre Feely, meh. Those ones are, but these are still guys. These are still guys that are ranked and have been ranked. I have a really bad taste in my mouth taking Air Jourdain, but I definitely rolled with Victor Henry after he lost to Gene Silva and Sean Woodson. Yeah, give me Air Jourdain. But I feel like this has disappointment written all over it. Jourdain is a guy who will lose these matchups, whether it's Shane Burgos or Julian Erosa, where you think, oh, this guy's the truth, this guy's the future. Then he loses a split decision to Andre Feely. So, yeah, give me Jourdain, but with for Hoofty Floofin. Okay. Yeah. Give me Charles Jourdain here. But I don't love it. I wouldn't really bet it. Davy Grant's a live dog. He could definitely pull out a finish or even a decision. He's got a lot of scar tissue in the upper eyebrows, so he will cut easily. I believe that's how he lost that split decision loss to what's his face? Adrian Yanez, and maybe also Daniel Marcos, because I thought he was getting off on that fight too. Pause. But yeah, give me Charles Jourdain, even though this has Davy Grant written all over it.
Appreciate it for Hoofty Floofin. Yeah, I understand he's on a 7-fight win streak, and Will C. Wagers, thanks for the comments. I appreciate it. Can't bet on old Davy. I agree, right? It's like, but when you get Davy, you usually get him at good dog odds. This is a pick 'em, and he's 10 years older. You got to just bank on the regression trend. You got to bank on the fact that he's gonna.
But don't you think that's Vegas just like begging you to take the guy 10 years younger? Because you're like, oh, Charles Jourdain at such slim odds against somebody who's 10 years older than him. Like, when I see a line like this, it's, as the kids say, a rat line.
I'd have to look under the hood and see if it's a rat line. What did it open as? You know what I mean? Because Davy Grant could open as a plus 200, and everybody like loves Floofin and Will C. Wagers. They could be like, I've won so much money on him, I'm going to bet on him, and then they do, and then the line moves, and now it's closer. But I'd have to look under the hood on the analytics. But for me, it's just like I've always respected Charles Jourdain. Yeah, he has let me down in the past. And Davy Grant, I always have underappreciated, and he has surprised me in the past. Or I have not underappreciated Davy Grant, but I've always kind of, looked at him like when he owns a restaurant. He is a 39-year-old. When's the other shoe going to drop and the Cinderella story is going to end? And I think it's this weekend. So next, we got Kyle Nelson versus Matt Frivola. Kyle Nelson versus Matt Frivola, both coming off losses. I think Kyle Nelson's loss to Steve Garcia was a little bit fucked up. I think he got hit in the back of the head a lot. He had a hematoma on the back of his head. I don't think that those last punches and elbows were legal, but he took the requisite year off, and so did Steamroller. He got knocked out by Faraz Zayam, all thanks to Ray Longo, that meatball. He was out there like, Ray Longo,
turn around,
run and face him. Turns and face him, knees to the head. Shit. the after expression of just him being like, yeah, I'm gonna get blamed for that one.
Mm-hmm.
So give me Matt Frivola here. I just think that they're both. I can see Kyle Nelson winning this. I'm gonna go with Matt Frivola because I think he's has a better pedigree. They're a really similar style of fighter, and I think Kyle Nelson has way better wins. Blake Builder, Fernando Padilla, Bill Algeo, kind of controversial loss to Garcia, a draw or a split draw or whatever against Dooho Choi. So it's good, but he
moving
lost
up in weight though for the first time.
Yeah, I mean he knocked out Kama Worthy, Kyle Nelson. And then Matt Frivola with the super sussy typology pick, looking like Indiana Jones or some shit. He's a goofball. He's 5-5 in the UFC. Both of these guys, it's like they did a really good thing matching these guys because they're both very up and down.
Same, but different.
Wins, 4 wins, 5 losses in the UFC for Nelson, 5-5 for Frivola. So one of them will have a winning or a break even or a winning record in the UFC, and the other will not after this fight. I'm going to go with Matt Frivola. I don't like it, but I'll take Matt Frivola. I don't like it. It's not really a fight I want to bet.
I'm taking Kyle Nelson. I think those weight cuts might have been getting to him. Maybe that's why Steve Garcia put him away, even though Steve Garcia is a giant for 145. Give me Matt Frivola. I think he gets this one done. I'm not too keen. Or no, not Matt Frivola. Sorry. Kyle Nelson. I'm not too keen on Matt Frivola's skills. I don't think he brings all the skills to the table when he comes into a fight. He fell in love with the knockout. He fell in love with the power. It's a tale as old as time with some of these guys. I'm going with Kyle Nelson. He knows where his bread's buttered. He's got good striking. He's got good wrestling. He's got great cage control. I think that he this gum is fucking me up. I think that he controls this fight and has better moments in it. Give me Kyle Nelson at 155 for the very first time in the UFC.
I will also take Kyle Nelson. I'm switching, and I kind of just had this highlight reel of Matt Frivola swinging and missing, like swinging at air. He swings out of his shoes, and I think Nelson is a little too hardy and a little bit too savvy, and is of the two will be the smarter one in there and the less desperate one. So I'll switch my pick. I'm going with Kyle Nelson in a mystery box fight, a fight where I don't really know how it's going to play out. I'm going to be looking to gather data with this one, see who's kind of more in the game still at 35. But I will join you with Kyle Nelson, and
beautiful. I think that's the right pick.
Yeah, Kyle Nelson by decision, I think. All right, Cody Gibson versus Orichi Lang. Cody, the Renegade Gibson, coming off the loss to Damon Blackshear by Kimura 6 months ago. Before that, beat Chad Anheliger, beat Brian Kelleher, lost to Miles Johns, lost to Brad Katona. Orichi Lang lost a year ago to Raul Rosas Jr. by decision. Before that, got kicked in the nuts by Daniel Marcos, lost that. Beat Johnny Munoz Jr., got knocked out by Eamon Zahabi. Beat Jay Perrin. So from China, before he got to the UFC, a lot of just Chinese regional guys. After the UFC, didn't fight the best that the UFC has to offer, really, except Daniel Marcos, but he kind of took the coward's way out in that one. So I don't want to bet on this fight either. 38-year-old Cody Gibson versus 32-year-old Orichi Lang. 25-12, 21-11. I mean, these guys got 23 losses between the two of them. It's more than Cody Gibson has wins, almost more than Orichi Lang has wins. I don't love it. I don't like the fight. I don't even want to lay a pick on this one, but I'll go with Cody Gibson.
Cody Gibson emphatically. I think this is one of the easiest picks on the card. I think Cody Gibson mauls Orichi Lang. Orichi Lang is crap. Cody Gibson, he might not be the best, but he's got a lot of heart. He's got a decent amount of skills, and he knows how to control a fight. I'm going with Cody Gibson. I think Cody Gibson dog walks Orichi Lang. If I were to make a parlay pillar, rest in peace to Dan, a parlay pillar here, I think Cody Gibson would be a part of it.
All right. glad you like him. Yeah, I mean, it's always good to go with the American. He's just 38 at 135. So, all right, next, Manon Fiorot versus Jasmine Justavicius. Look, man, if you look at Manon Fiorot, she's got a great record. She fought some big names in the UFC and beat some big names like Rose Namajunas, like Erin Blanchfield. Here's the thing. Erin Blanchfield didn't try to take her down. Not once. Like, it was a striking fight. It was an Erin Blanchfield wants to test her striking. I think she's fucking Ronda Rousey over here with hitting the pads and wants to not be a fucking Jersey grappler jiu-jitsu girl and wants to be a striker with a fucking striker, right? So Erin lost that fight for herself. Valentina, I'll be honest, I fell asleep. I didn't watch this fight on the night. I didn't watch it. But here's my thing, man. I think Fiorot is ripe for the picking for a fighter who's going to be persistent with the ground attacks, persistent with takedowns and control and ground and pound and submission attempts. Jazzy J is that girl, and Jazzy J is plus 190 underdog. I think that's hilarious. I'm taking JJ plus 190 as a dog. Probably my most confident dog that we've encountered yet.
Yeah, I mean, after seeing how easily Valentina absolutely grapple fucked Manon Fiorot, it's hard to like comprehend that Erin Blanchfield didn't do the exact same thing. So why would I think Jazzy does? I think Jazzy's like a big hearty girl. I think she's like a larger lady than a lot of these ladies. I think she goes in there and just absolutely manhandles them. She has disappointed in the past, though. I think she lost to Tracy Cortez, who is just like hanging out with every streamer on earth and hasn't fought in 10 years. Give me Jazzy J. Don't love it. Wouldn't touch it. But I'm rolling with the dog on this one. Manon Fiorot, there's too many question marks. And unless she can land a very clean question mark kick, I don't necessarily think Jazzy J is going out under any other circumstance. So I think she controls the pace. I think she controls where the fight takes place. And she ends up winning this fight. I think Erin Blanchfield shot like 2 or 3 takedowns that entire fight. It was crazy to see. A completely different game plan than we've seen from her. I would like to, find out if she had an injury of sorts, maybe a foot injury where she couldn't drive off and get like a double leg. But yeah, give me Jazzy J. I don't love the pick though.
Next, we got Ayman Zahabi coming off a 6-fight win streak, taking on Chito Vera, Marlon Chito Vera. Back-to-back losses, lost to Sean O'Malley by decision, lost to Davidson Figueiredo by decision. Only wins in the last 3 years. Dominic Cruz, now retired, and Pedro Munoz 2 years ago. So hasn't really been active. I think Chito Vera is sleeping in silk sheets, and I did see a couple training videos of him. He looked really good, working with Jason Perillo, mixing up the striking. I mean, I think that, Vera's tricky. He's the type of guy, he can lull you to sleep and hit you with something big and win rounds in a big way and like steal rounds in a big way. Very tricky guy. I'd like to know what you think about this one, Alex. Personally, my initial instinct is to be like, fuck Chito Vera, fade him. Ayman Zahabi. I just have a weird feeling that like Vera needs it more. Vera is going to lose if he runs out of time, but will always, the whole fight, all 15 minutes, be live for a knockout. So it scares me because Zahabi, he has that one big knockout loss to Ricardo Ramos in his career, but he hasn't really
who sucked.
He hasn't had another one. And I mean, I know Aldo kind of dropped him, right? In their fight, he like hurt him or came back a little bit.
It was in like the first round, I think.
Yeah. So I'm going to go with Zahabi, but I'm scared. He's going to fuck me.
Yeah, I mean, little known fact, Luke and I were planned to go to TriStar to train for a month or 2 or something like that. And COVID happened, and then we couldn't go up to TriStar to train. And I would have liked to meet Ayman Zahabi and Faraz Zahabi. I think I'm going with Ayman Zahabi on this one, but I think Luke's absolutely right. I think that like this is one of these fights where everybody's like, yeah, Marlon Vera's let me down. And then he comes alive against somebody who has lost the fight by knockout while winning the fight, which is kind of Cheeto's like, you know, trademark. His calling card is he loses 2.5 rounds and then knocks the guy out with a minute left. It's like the writing's written all over the wall for both of these. Thank you, Verhoofdy.
We tried to go. I bought Alex and I a hotel room or an Airbnb for a month, and we were going to go in 2020 when Alex graduated from university, as you say. And the border got closed. So we were going to be there for a month, and we were going to go to TriStar, and we were going to train at TriStar. So maybe we can come back and you can be our tour guide, Will, or Verhoofdy, Flutefin. But Alex's new haircut plus 1,000 aura. Is that means like it's an underdog or
that's a good thing. That's a good thing. It's not gambling. It's not gambling lingo. I appreciate that. I appreciate that a ton. I'm gonna go with Zahabi. I don't love it. Like I said, this is a great fight because you can really pitch an opinion for either of these guys. Zahabi has a history of kind of like squandering fights in the last round. Vera has a history of winning fights, stealing victory from the grasp of defeat. But I'm going to go with Zahabi on this one. Canada is a place that does home cooking, just so you guys know. Brazil, not necessarily. Some of these other self-respecting countries do not do that. Do not do that whatsoever. They, in fact, grade their own fighters on a scale. But Canada is one of these countries that does home cooking because they want a GSP so bad. They want another GSP so bad. The UFC ain't coming back to Canada nearly as much as they used to.
Right. The biggest thing that scares me about Ayman Zahabi is that he's 37 years old. I think that he's got a little bit of like the John Jones thing going where he preserved himself with inactivity. But hey, hi, baby. Okay.
Yeah, and I agree with Luke. Yeah, he has like the John Jones thing, but John Jones like started doing that way late into his career. Like that's the thing about some of these younger guys. They're like, oh, I don't want to extend myself too much. I want to make sure I'm fighting every 6 months like these guys. It's like, you can't fight every 6 months. You need to fight like Kevin Holland, who is in the next fight of the card. Kevin Holland versus Mike Malott. I think you got to go with Mike Malott on this one. I mean, I might be crazy. I might be out of my damn mind, but Kevin Holland concedes bottom position. He loses fights. He's in there to make money. He doesn't care about working his way up the rankings. But I know a lot of you guys are saying, Neil Magny beat Mike Malott. Neil Magny is Kevin Holland, 10 years older with 5 times the grappling ability and divided by 5 the striking ability. That's
I wouldn't say he's got 5 times the grappling ability as Kevin Holland. Maybe 5 times the takedowns, but not the jiu-jitsu. I think they're about
equal. 5 times the takedowns, which what the fuck is jiu-jitsu without a takedown? Doesn't do anything. Yeah, scoot your butt fucking to me on the streets. I'll kick your teeth in. I'm going to take Kevin Holland, actually, because now that I think about it, he is younger and better than Neil Magny. Neil Magny beat Mike Malott. Kevin Holland has way more sting on his punches than Neil Magny. Neil Magny's like a cardio kickboxer and throws in takedowns. Not as a bad thing. He's going to be putting constant pressure on you is what I mean by a cardio kickboxer. Boom, boom, boom. You're up against the cage, pushes you up against the cage, goes for a takedown, gets you down. You're working your way back up. That's not exactly how the fight with Mike Malott went, but I think Kevin Holland's got way more sting on his punches. I think Kevin Holland can get it done against Mike Malott.
Is a really tough one. So on one hand, I think Mike Malott takes the game more seriously, has a lot more to win, a lot more to lose, is going to be coming out there with a lot more, a lot less nonchalance. I think Kevin Holland in these situations really gives himself a lot of ways out where it's like, look, the UFC needed somebody. I'm the guy to call. But he's doing them a favor. This isn't like a name he asked for. This is just the name they gave him. And I think that squandering the Daniel Rodriguez fight, he almost had Daniel Rodriguez completely knocked out, went for that submission, and ends up getting kind of too high and ends up on bottom. And listen, he kicked Rodriguez's ass. Rodriguez kicked his ass right back. So
but what's Rodriguez? Luke?
What?
Mexican.
Older.
Mexican fighting spirit. Have you ever seen a Modelo commercial?
And you guys are saying, Malott by KO, Wonderboy almost got him out with similar style. If old ass D-Rod can drop him, the chin is going. Yeah, that's kind of where I'm thinking too, where I'm like, I could look, Kevin Holland, if he makes it clean and quick, he can make it clean and quick. He can come out there, 81-inch reach, bop, 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 and just get just start popping him and get Mike Malott to bite down on that mouthpiece and come forward and try to get it back and knock him out.
But what you guys are forgetting about Daniel Rodriguez is that he is 38, but didn't start fighting until he was 28. So he's only has 10 years of like wear and tear on him. Like it's a different kind of thing when you're looking at a Kevin Holland, not even Kevin Holland, when you're looking at a guy like Lyoto Machida, who at 38 is done. Because he's been in karate classes and jiu-jitsu classes and kickboxing classes since he was fucking in a diaper. But D-Rod took off his flannel, went onto the mat, and started wrestling right after that.
Yeah. Listen, dude, I'm very this is one of those fights where I need to see the press conference. I need to see the face off. I need to see the weigh-ins. I need to see them walk to the cage.
Kevin Holland's going to say something like 45-70. Mike Malott's going to be like, oh, yeah, buddy. Well, we'll see you on Saturday night. That's exactly how it's going to go. You don't need to see shit for the press conference. I guarantee that.
Yeah, that's really what it comes down to for me, Verhoofdy Flufen, is that Kevin just doesn't care enough.
Yes.
And Mike Malott cares a lot. But when you care too much, it could come back to bite you. It is good to care less sometimes. But no, I just think that the care factor is going to come into play with like their preparation, their training. Kevin took a lot. That was 2 months ago. Kevin took a lot of damage in that fight. So I'm going to go with Mike Malott, proper Mike Malott.
All right. Next up, we got RDR, Renier de Ridder versus Brennan Allen. I think Brennan Allen has 2 brain cells to rub together at most. He is the dumbest box of rocks I've ever seen, heard speak, fight. Everything about this guy is idiotic. He's like a souped up Nico Price. If you get him and Nico Price in a room, Lord knows what they'll come up with. They probably wouldn't even know how to screw in a daggum light bulb. Give me Renier de Ridder by hook or by crook, maybe by falling piano. Who knows? Who knows how Renier de Ridder gets it done? He gets it done against Brendan Allen, and I think Brendan Allen will have moments. He oftentimes does. First, second round Allen is like Michael Jordan dunking from the free throw line. He looks amazing in those first 2 rounds. Then, midway through the second, the cracks in his IQ start to show. And that's when you see him get knocked out. That's when you see him get subbed. That's when you see him get finished. Give me Renier de Ridder. Way more heart, way more brains, and a very difficult skill set for Allen to deal with in the first place.
And if Brendan Allen loses this, I want to see him fight Robert Whittaker. I'm going to take RDR. I like him better as a fighter. I like that it's 5 rounds. And I do think Allen will have moments. I do think Allen will get top control, cage control, and takedowns. But I think he ultimately will do what he does a lot, which is even if he is on top, he will end up on getting swept or on bottom. And I think DeRitter will kind of school him in certain transitions and sequences on the ground. I do think Allen has even though he has the height and reach disadvantage, I think he's got the power and the kind of like steamrolling kind of power that, can be advantageous. But over 5 rounds, I think he eventually gets got. So give me RDR. RDR by KO. Not submission, KO.
I like that. I like TKO. Probably ground and pound is what I'd say.
Yeah, or a kick to the body, and a knee up the middle, and just
Brendan Allen is very Macy Chiasson-esque.
Yeah,
Brendan Allen is male Macy.
They are the same.
All right, let's go through the full picks. Very expedited episode. Great. You guys are gonna have Contender Series right after this, right? It starts at 8.
Starts at 8. Contender Series, last one, 10 of 10. Gonna be sad to see it go. Helps get us through these dog days of baseball until the football season starts. But it was good having a Tuesday night thing, a Monday night thing. Now we're just gonna have Monday, Thursday. It's gonna be a little bit less sports to watch. So I don't like that. I wish Contender Series went on all half the year.
Oh yeah. Well, if you're rolling with me, you're going with Lisboa, Belgaru, Ravena, Oliveira, Kyle, Prepelec, Danny Barlow, Hyung-Sung Park, Charles Jourdain, Kyle Nelson, Cody Gibson, Jazzy J, Juzavicius, Eamon Zahabi, Kevin Holland, and Renier DeRitter.
All right, and if you're rolling with me, it's Renier DeRitter, Mike Malott, Eamon Zahabi, Jasmine Juzavicius, Cody Gibson, Kyle Nelson, Charles Jourdain, Hyung-Sung Park, Danny Barlow, Kyle Propolak, Ravinia. I think I picked Luciano, didn't I? Yeah, I believe I picked Luciano. But then I switched to
Tell
Ravina.
me if you change your mind.
And then I think I switched to Ravina based on her taking that fight on short notice in her last loss. Yeah, so I'm taking Ravina, and then I'm taking Yasri Belgaru and Melissa Croden. So a lot of double P certified picks for you guys this week. Yasiri Belgaru, double P certified. Ravina Oliveira, double P certified. Kyle Prepelec, double P certified. HSP, Hyung-Sung Park. Danny Barlow, double P certified. Hyung-Sung Park, double P certified. Charles Jourdain, double P certified. Kyle Nelson, double P certified. Cody Gibson, double P certified. Jasmine Juzavicius, double P certified. Eamon Zahabi, double P certified. And Renier DeRitter, double P certified. Alex and I agree on every single fight except the Mike Malott, Kevin Holland fight and the Tanera Lisboa, Melissa Croden, no bet, don't bet it at all fight. So me and Alex are on the exact same fucking page here this weekend, guys, except for Kevin Holland and Mike Malott, basically. So let's get this work. Let's get this action. Let's get this money. We love you guys. Sorry for this short show. We just want to be able to go watch the Contender Series in 40 minutes. Hope you guys do too. Thanks for joining. And this is not financial advice, but, bets go to 0. Losing bets go to 0. So let's attack this weekend. Check in with us on the Discord if you guys want. Send us a message on Instagram, whatever. Comment down below. We'll engage with you. We always read the comments. We always comment back, and we always like to hear what you guys have to say, what you think about the episode, what you think about everything else. So thanks for the show. You're welcome. Good luck tonight and this weekend, boys. Thank you very much, guys. And that's it. That's it, and that's all. Peace. Until next week. We love you guys. Thank you very much.